Good morning, everyone. I am Ashish Sinha, third year CAC undergraduate student here at Bengal College of Engineering and Technology, and I feel honored to be the host of today's faculty development program organized by Entrepreneurship Development Cell and Institute Innovation Cell. It's wonderful to see so many esteemed faculty members and guests gathered here, ready to share ideas and learn together. Firstly, I like to extend a warm welcome on behalf of our college to all of you. This program was designed to help us grow as a community, to exchange knowledge, and to develop new skills that will benefit both educators and students alike. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our session chair, Mrs. Pooja Chakravarti ma'am. We are honored to have here to guide us through today's discussion. Moving on to our first session, the topic is AI driven defense harnessing generative AI and federated learning for next generation cybersecurity. I am delighted to introduce our speaker, Dr. Arindam Sarkar sir, who serves as Ramakrishna Mission Vidya Mandir at Bellar Mutt. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Arindam Sarkar as they share their expertise on this topic. He completed his PhD in engineering from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, University of Kalyani, West Bengal, India under the Innovation in Science. Pursuit for Inspired Research Fellowship of the Department of Science and Technology, New Delhi Government of India. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you for your generous introduction. I'm sharing my screen. I think it's visible. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramakrishna Namo. Today, the topic of my lecture is AI-driven defense, harnessing generative AI and federated learning for next-gen cybersecurity. First of all, a very good morning to all of you present over here. Okay, I am from Ramakrishna Mission Vidya Mandira Belur Mott. These are my different publications. I have more than 160 publications in different ACI Scopus journals. Now, according to the topic, what we are right now saying that data is the most precious one. So, whenever you need any processing, any kind of analytics, the first and foremost thing that is required is data. So, data is most precious thing. Data is a gold. Data is a oil. Data is everything because this data will give you the revenue. But whenever you want revenue data, the first thing is that you need to maintain the data. You need to think of the particular data structure to which you can store your data efficiently, right? I think all of you know the definition of efficient. I'm not going to discuss that thing. And whenever data is actually distributed across the organization, then how to maintain the data? How to gather all this information? Whatever I'm talking, these are the very old thing because I think all of you are aware of these things. But now, from now, what I'm going to talk, that is very new thing. From our school days or college days, we know that for processing anything, we need data. We need to store data efficiently so that it can be retrieved properly. But we do not know which data to access because do you have the privilege to access all this data? Right now, we are talking about artificial intelligence. This is a big term right now in this world. But whenever we are trying to process any data, then we are trying to gather all this data. Do you have the permission? Do you have the permission to gather all this data? That is the big question right now. Look at the screen. Our government, our Indian government, going to launch one act. It's called Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDP, right? So it is DPTP Act that was actually been passed in previous year, August 2023, and I think it going to be implemented soon, very soon, maybe in this month. Then there will be a very problematic situation. What data to access? Already, who knows the cross-border transaction? You should have to maintain the European Union guideline that is called GDPR, General Data Protection Regulations. Actually, that was passed by the EU, European Union, in the year of 2016, and it was effected from May 25, 2018. This is a very recent attack. Last Monday, the hackers actually strike Calcutta High Court's YouTube stream with options video. So I think we have a lot of examples of this kind of cyber crimes. And what are the people saying? That don't click this phishing link, don't download anything. These are the rubbish things. Once again, these are the rubbish things because the hackers are much more powered than the previous days because they have a AI driven knowledge, AI driven processing power. You won't be able to understand then what is the legitimate file, what is not. So if you maintain all the precautions given by different institute, that is not sufficient to prevent this kind of attacks. So people are saying that we need to secure our data. And whenever people are saying, people are often using this term, data privacy and data security. These two terms are not a same term, right? Data privacy means you need to focus on individuals' rights to control the information. The information should be your personal information. So whether my data is secure or not, that is different thing. Because in case of data security, what we are using, being a computer scientist, what we're using, we're trying to generate or we are trying to develop new kind of cryptographic algorithms to secure our data, right? We are trying to find out the good firewalls so that data can be protected. But whenever we are saying data privacy, that means which people will access my data, right? How to share my data. My data can be accessible from anywhere. For that, you need to compliance the GDPR Act or GDPR regulations for EU and for our India. Now, from this November, I think you need to think of this DPDP Act. So maintaining data privacy and security. Why I'm talking all these things? Because whenever you are trying to design any software, maybe in case of software development, whenever you are designing your database, in case of database management system, if you are in cloud, you are actually dealing with cloud management. Everywhere the main thing is data. So at the time of designing, you need to think of the privacy, right? So whether we are knowing machine learning algorithm or we are knowing some generative AI kind of algorithm, everywhere you need data. So whenever we are designing our algorithm, from the very first steps, we need to care about our data. And we need to design in somehow that we can maintain the privacy, right? That's why the first heading I have given here, privacy by design. And second one is called security measures. So whenever you are accessing the data, what is the security? How I can say that your data is secure, right? In machine learning algorithm, you are trying to access data. Now, whenever you are trying to access data, you are saving the data in a particular server, then your particular machine learning algorithm will access all the data. What I'm saying that I'm not talking about that data going to be leaked. I'm saying that our algorithm can visualize the data. If suppose I have a healthcare data set, I want to learn any machine learning algorithm on that healthcare data set. My algorithm can touch my data. My algorithm can access all the information present in my data. Then my question is that what about the security? If any algorithm can access my data, can visualize my data, can touch my data, then what about the security? So we need to rethink. So there are different flaws in our DPDP rules that are going to be implemented very soon compared to GDPR that is already exist. I have told you in European Union. This GDPR actually offers extensive rights to data subjects, including different rights to access. You can erase the data, you can rectify the data, you can restrict the processing of your personal data. Data Portability Act is there, but in our DPDP, it's not very stringent one. It's less stringent than GDPR, right? And there is no right to be forgotten. That means if its data is not needed for a particular organization, that then you can't say that organization that please delete my data. So where your personal data are no longer necessary in relation to the purpose for which it was collected or processed, you will not be able to request to that particular organization that my data, whatever the data you have collected that is no longer used, you can please delete my data. That kind of facility is not available. That was available in GDPR. Data breach notification in GDPR, you need to give data breach notification within 72 hours. But in DPDP, there is no time boundness. Accountability and the governance. In GDPR, it requires different organization to appoint one particular person. The post of that person is Data Protection Officer, TPO. But in our Indian scenario, we are actually having CISO and CTO. We do not have this DPO, right? DPO has a power that how to give the security, how to provide the security, how to impose that privacy kind of things. Scope of applicability. In case of scope of applicability, GDPR is applies to all organization. Whenever you are doing any cross-border transaction, GDPR is applicable. But in DPDP, it has a very narrow scope. And enforcement and penalties, GDPR penalties is very strict. It may be up to 4% of your annual global turnover. There is no clear guideline for the penalties in our Indian DPTP Act. Now I have gave you already some comparison about the newly going to launch DPTP Act and GDPR. Now my question is here. I want to ask you that whether this DPTP Act that's going to be launched or the act that's already there in the market that is called GDPR, these are acts sufficient for handling all these AI-based cyber attacks? Now, first of all, see what are the different AI-based cyber attacks. In case of AI-based cyber attack, we are talking about defect technology kind of attacks, actually known as very popular example is known as CEO authorization attack. I will give you one of my uh, published article. From there, you can be able to understand. Another is AI driven phishing. AI driven phishing is a very sophisticated phishing. Even if you click on an image, then you may get hacked. You do not need to click any link. You need to download one image. You need to download one PDF. That's enough. Automated vulnerability exploitation. That means AI can scan for an exploit software weaknesses and it can gain different unauthorized accesses even if it can actually escalate different uh, different permissions. And also data poisoning attack. Attacker can manipulate your training data. Whenever you are using your data to for training purposes of any of your algorithm, that may be ML, DL, or GenAI kind of algorithm. If your data is poisoned, then think of how your model will learn. AI generated malware is a sophisticated one. The latest antivirus and the latest firewall, latest defender will not going to give you any kind of alert message for this kind of malware. Whatever I am not talking hypothetically. After the end of my presentation, I will give you the screenshot of each and every topic. Please wait. Next one is called enhanced social engineering attack. So all of we know that we need to gather different kind of information from our social networking sites. From there, anyone can hack. Now this one is my article where I have written about different kind of attacks that going to be take over the market in 2024. Okay. Now, next part is called cyber security challenges in deepfakes. Look at the tagline, very interesting one. नकली चेहरा असली खेल सुरक्षा का हो गया फेल. Here, I have used one deepfake example. That examples I was talking about, the CEO examples. So, using this deepfake, anyone can hack your information, right? Right now, the term is very much popular. Right, one term is very much popular right now. It's called cyber espionage. So, a cyber espionage is the term. So here they are using generative AI kind of tools, and then they are trying to give you some phishing kind of email. If you click that one, if you open that one, you'll be in a trouble. Now these are different data sets that are available. Face forensic plus plus, select DF, DFDC. These are the different deepfakes data sets are available. We have actually used our algorithms. Now our algorithm, why we have used our algorithm? The algorithm is in defensive measure. That means our algorithm wants to protect this kind of attack. Whether my algorithm can be able to distinguish that this is the deepfake image, this is the deepfake video image. So here we have used different algorithms and we got 99% accuracy. Another kind of attack is very actually problematic one. The article name is Shield Against Sextortion. Now, from different social media sites, you can get one friend request. If you click on that friend request, you may get some offensive video. If you just see the video, then you'll be in trouble. I think all of you are aware of all these things. But the problem is there is no guideline, proper guideline for this AI-based attack in GDPR, also in DPDP. So lack of specific provisions for AI technologies. That is the problem. And also there is an insufficient mechanism for identifying AI-driven threats. There is a process is known as DPIA. DPIA. That means data protection impact assessment. What is the needs of this? This is a process. Actually, it describes the process is actually designed to identify different risks arising out of the processing of personal data and to minimize these risks as far and as early as possible. But how if what is the scenario if I don't able to detect the attack? If I detect the attack, then I have the next step. But if I don't detect the attack, then what will be my next step? So AI driven attacks are actually designed in such a way that it won't be able to give you the hints. Whenever we are talking about signature, that we know the signature of the malware, we know that these are the features should be present in a malware. If these are the features are present, then I can say this is the malware, otherwise not. So if I know the features, I can design my algorithm. I can design my simple if else. But in AI-driven attack, these features are evolving day by day. You won't be able to find out any existing or any classical features present in that particular malware. So how will you distinguish? That's why AI is actually trying to generate a malware that can bypass your existing security system. And the next one is called inadequate response to real-time threats. Already I have told you that GDPR guidelines said that within 72 hours you need to react. But in DPTP there is no guideline. And also the challenges with the constant in the AI context. So whenever you are going to design an email or DL kind of algorithm, you need extensive data sets. Whenever we are talking about data security, data protection, how the people will gather this kind of data? If people won't be able to gather the huge amount of data, how they will train their machine learning algorithm? Right? So there is no answer. Okay. And overemphasis on personal data is another problem. This is the India AI mission of data privacy implication, where our minister are saying that they are trying to launch a platform after collecting non-personal data from different social media accounts. So whatever the data actually in our social media account, that data is actually known as non-personal data. That means your photograph is your non-personal. Your phone number is your non-personal data. Your date of birth is your non-personal data. So so, is this your personal data or non-personal data? If one particular data set is actually going to be designed using this so-called non-personal data, and if anyone can be able to gather your personal information from this non-personal data, then what about your security? What about the security of your personal information? So somehow, I think the way of implementation, the way of thinking, the way of protection is right now fuzzy. So there is a different impact of AI ML on our cybersecurity. That means real-time threat detection should be there. Data privacy and decentralization acts should be there. Automated anomaly detection, not only detection, also prevention should be there, and adaptive response to evolving threats. Whatever the algorithm we are right now designing by actually observing or by actually analyzing different features of any malware, any phishing emails, what about the zero-day attack? Whenever any attacks is actually evolving, then how do I be able to distinguish that this one is an attack? That's there is a term. It's called cyber auditors. So IT auditors, or right now we are saying the cyber auditors, are facing numerous challenges in preparing how to audit in AI and how to audit with AI. So when a particular system engineer is going to audit a system, whether there is any vulnerability present in the system, if system is actually designed with AI, then what things to check? And also, if the engineer, if the auditor wants to get help from AI, then how the AI tool is going to help to that particular auditor, right? So these are the very new kind of things. Why auditors should care about AI? Because significant business impact. AI is transforming business processes. An auditor must ensure its governance and compliance. There are different new rigs can be available, and also the evolving standard. So there is a need to use AI for your auditing purpose. There are different challenges and also some sort of solutions are there. The challenges is that immature auditing frameworks or regulations specific to AI. All the auditors, they hardly have some knowledge about AI based system. So if they have limited knowledge about AI based system, then how they will audit the system, right? And limited use cases are there. So use cases are limited, experience is limited, and there is another limitation that auditors are not well aware of the AI tools that going to help in auditing purposes. So we are trying to design some system that can be audited. So this is the flowchart that if we want to audit any system using AI, then first of all you have a data capturing phase. That means the auditor should think of that from where data has been gathered. Think of any machine learning kind of training First of all, you need a data set. First of all, you need a data set. You can download the data set. You can prepare your own data set. But the question is here, where from you got the data? That should be the first thing to audit, whether you have compliance the rules or not. Then the data pre-processing step, you need to review different handling or missing data. And now at the ML modeling phase, whenever anyone is using any kind of model, maybe decision tree, maybe random forest, maybe XGBoost, is there any alternative algorithms available? You need to think of that. And also the testing phase is there, different sensitive testing should be there, and development and constant monitoring should be there. Time limit is very short, so I will not be able to cover all these things vividly, but I can give you the essence. So these are the different tuning parameter available in ML. Whenever we are saying that I have applied to an ML algorithm on data set and why I'm not getting actually higher accuracy. Why? Because what is the validation of the historical data? That means whatever the data you have gathered, how much confidence you have on that data, right? If the data is actually, maybe I have a doubt on the data, if data is poisoned, there is an attack is called data poisoning attack. If data is already poisoned, then do you have any mechanism to check all these things? My question is to all of you that whether you have checked before applying any ML algorithm that your data is poisoned or not. And also, any malicious data can be inserted in your algorithm. Whatever the package available in our Python system or R, how many of you going to read the each line by line whatever written in the package, right? So these are the different tunings can be done to improve the performance of any ML kind of algorithms. And also, we need to think of the situation that we need to design one system, we need to build our system that should be trustworthy with AI. That means we should have a strategic plan, we have a different accuracy enhancement, we should follow the data security compliance, and we need to strengthen the security controls. So when you are designing any ML algorithm, vis-a-vis, you need to think of all these steps. And there are different best practices. You can follow the different best practices. Some of the government agencies are there, some guidelines are there. And when I'm talking about this kind of attacks, I think all of you are aware of, or we have heard the term Jamtara gang. But Jamtara gang is old. Presently, Bharatpur gang, Rajasthan Bharatpur gang is in the market, is in the light. So the Bharatpur gang and the Uttar Pradesh Mathura gang, these two gangs is actually committing 80% of the cyber attacks. And I think you have heard the AEPS attack, Aadhaar Enable Payment System. And from there, all of you are aware of that. The hackers try to access our biometric from different legal documents. And that's why we have moved to one system. It's called VID, right? We have all locked our Aadhaar using virtual ID. But I can ensure you, even if your Aadhaar is locked using your VID or you are using your masked Aadhaar, then also I can hack your Aadhaar. Then also I can hack your Aadhaar. I can guarantee you. This is the scenario right now. Whatever the security you are using, you are thinking that, okay, this security is ultimate and you are feeling comfortable. But hackers is thinking one step ahead than you. So this is the one another kind of attack. It's loan kind of scam. So they give you some or loan offer. If you say yes, then the consequence will be there. Different consequence vulnerabilities will be there. This is another attack. Some of you may disagree with me. Then I will invite you to my lab to show you this kind of attack. That whenever I'm sending any WhatsApp message to you, Hackers can change your message, can change the timestamp of your message. If I change the message, the WhatsApp message, the content of the WhatsApp message, if I change the timestamp of your message, I'm not going to discuss. Think yourself, what will be the consequence? So, cyber threats on weight. We need to upskill today for a safer tomorrow. And for this upskillness, what is very much needed? We need to educate the people, educate about the cyber security, educate about the AI, educate about the threat. And second is called adapt processes to support resilience. And obviously, the third one, that is ensure adequate defense are in place, right? And that's why this article, I've written this article that embracing the change. Now, next tagline of my lecture should be generative AI and LLM tools for cyber attack. Suraksha tutegi, data lutegi. There are different attacks are there. I think you have aware of the name phishing, but right now I'm saying AI-driven phishing, deepfake impersonation. I'm saying GenAI-based deepfake impersonation. GPT, what about the GPT we are using, chat GPT or different kind of GPT. Right now, GPT will give you the criminal services. So criminal GPT as your doorstep, at your doorstep. So criminal GPT as service. And different prompt injection attack. AI will be act as a double-edged sword. In one hand, in the previous slide, we have given you different AI-based attack. In this slide, I'm going to give you some defensive measurement. So, what is the strategy? Advancing the analyst, automated response, and GPT enabled breach and attack simulation. Look at here. GPT enabled breach and attack simulations. We all know that ML is a subset of AI, neural network is a subset of ML, deep learning is a subset of neural network, and GenAI is a subset of deep learning. We all know that. There is no need to discuss all these things. And also we know that what is GAN, Generative Adversarial Neural Network. There are two modules are there. One is called generator and this is called discriminator. It's like just like a AI to some games. When generator tries to generate something, how generator will generate? First of all, I need to feed some input. What kind of input I'm going to feed? Why we are using generative AI? In today's world, whenever we are trying to design any ML model for defending any attack, we need some data. The data through which we can train our model, right? But the most important problem is that we do not have available real data. Do you think that actual crime and the reported crime, both the numbers are same? No. So if I asked any government agencies, please give me the last 1 year this deepfake attacks report, then maybe I may get 100,000, 2,000, 5,000 reports. Do you think this much of data is sufficient for training any deep learning kind of thing? My answer will be no. So you need to generate your data to train your algorithm. How to generate your data? So you are trying to generate some new data. It may call data augmentation using generative AI. So that data will be helpful for training your algorithm. But one precaution should be there. The data should be look like the real one. That's why I'm talking about two sum game. That's why I'm talking about generator and discriminator. That's why I'm talking about there is a utmost priority of this discriminator to discriminate whatever the generated by the generator, whether it's a fake one or real one. Now the question arises, how generator will generate different new kind of data? When we have this 2000 or 5000 real data, we are fitting this real data to the generator. Not only that, but also we are fitting some error or some noise to the generator, so that utilizing the noise and utilizing the input given to the generator will be able to generate new data. That data will be helpful, but when it will be helpful? Now the next turn is for the discriminator. Whatever the data generated by the generator, discriminator tries to discriminate that one, whether it's a real or fake. If discriminator fails to discriminate that it's a fake one, then discriminator pass that data. So actually fake data generated by the generator passed by the discriminator, because discriminator won't be able to distinguish this thing, then we are taking only those data. So if discriminator fails, generator wins. If generator fails, very easy thing, discriminator wins. So in this way, we are generating data. Look at the graph. This is the actual data available to me, and using some Python codes, we have written the GAN model. And look at here, the orange kind of things. The orange means it's been generated by the generator. So orange color showing you generated data, and the blue color showing you the real data. Look at the data distribution. This curve is here. And this data generated by the generator is known as synthetic data. Term is called synthetic data. Very much helpful. Now, if I asked any chat GPT kind of tools that, okay, please give me, please write me a phishing email. Please give me a phishing email. Please generate a phishing email. It will not going to generate because of the content policy. Don't worry, I have the solution. I have one GPT. This one GPT has no content policy. So it can generate anything. It can write anything for you. It can write BAC kind of mail. It can write phishing for you. If you are not satisfied with this one GPT, I have another option. It's called Wolf GPT or Triple X GPT. Okay, so this is much higher, much capable of doing this kind of vulnerable things, and it's a haven for hackers. Again, if you are not satisfied with this old GPT, don't worry, I have another one for you. It's called fraud GPT. This fraud GPT actually give you the indication where to put the malicious link in your text, and it's actually updated every week or two. So think of the power of generative AI. This is another article of mine where I have written about the most expected ChatGPT 5 and also the AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. Next, generative AI in crypto security. In previous couple of slides, I have shown you that how generative AI can be used for attacking purposes. Now I'm showing you how generative AI kind of tools can be used for security purposes. So there are different kind of attack in cryptocurrency. I'm not going to details of that, but I'm not going to tell you the details of each and every attack, but I'm showing you the list 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've been seeing double spent exploit. Number 2 is called re-entrance attack. Number 3 is called integer overflow and underflow attack. Number 4 is called front running attacks. All the attacks can be handled by this GPT. So this is a base scan platform of those who knows about the cryptocurrency. They're aware of this kind of platform. If you download the contract, if we check our contract using GPT, it will give you the response that whether this contract has any attack or not, right? Another attack is very much important here in today's scenario is called CSAM, Automated Detection of Child Sexual Abuse Materials. Now we have used ATTM CNN model, attention-based CNN model for this purpose, and we got legitimate accuracy. Again, there is another kind of experiment we have done. Generative AI-based age invariance face recognition. The tagline, "Umar badli pehchan nahi." That means we can be able to check any photograph irrespective of their age. irrespective of the facial decomposition. Even if we can compare any one image with dead body image, look at here. This is the result, and at this side I have shown the Sushant Singh Rajput image, the dead body image, and the real image, also his childhood image. So these are the attacks right now. Auditors should use AI, right? And there are different challenges in AI auditing. We need to learn NLP kind of things, natural language processing, and NLG also, natural language generation. So this kind of tools, this kind of predictive analytics will help you for this situation. So this is the diagram. It's showing you the map that for if you want to perform analyzing different chatbot attacks, then you need to perform RPA, robotic process automation. If you are going with NLP, then text to speech, image to speech kind of things, then you will be able to check each and every line present in your system, whether this line contains any vulnerability or not. Same for ML, predictive AI, all these things. Now, system auditor first trying to detect the behavior of the SIM system, then it will check whether the compliance has been made or not. Then also the system auditor has to monitor different anomalies, whether the system will be able to detect the anomalies or not. Is the data integrity or not? Data integrity is present over or not? And then we can test the system. This is the simplest model present on the screen is called isolation forest, through which you'll be able to distinguish between the normal pattern, uncommon pattern, and the outliers for detection of any anomalies, right? And this is the steps, auditing steps. These steps can be followed by any auditor to audit these things. Okay, I'm showing you all these things so that you'll be able to understand that what I'm actually talking about. That auditing in a system, auditing whether my system is actually cyberproof or not. So these are the auditing steps. What to audit? First, you need to audit the privacy and confidences. Second, you need to audit is there any data integrity. Third, you need to audit trust. And then adaptability. It is very much important that you are thinking that I have audited one system that is foolproof, but what about the future attack? Think of the 0 day or 1 day attack, whether my system will be able to detect or protect this 0 day attack. So, and also you need to check whether the system is actually maintaining the GDPR or DPDP guideline or not. And whatever the system is actually doing, there should be a explainable kind of things. That's why we are using here explainable AI for audit transparency. There should not be black box. It should be white box kind of thing, right? And continuous auditing and monitoring should be there. Cross-border compliance should be there. That means whenever we are trying to access some data, we need to think of the location of the data. Whatever the guideline is actually following the data, whether I'll be able to take that data from there or not. And data set creation. You need to create some data set. How will you create the data set? I've shown you one example using CAN. You need some dashboard to check all these things. You can use Power BI or Tableau kind of integration. And some practical guide should be there, how to set up your different advisory detection algorithm, how you can use gradient, what will be the threshold value, what will be the different parameters value, how you are going to implement the DPIA templates. This should be there, right? I'm showing you a lot of information. Some of you thinking that I'm not be able to understand all these things. This 1 hour is not sufficient to tell you everything. This 1 hour is actually to show you what actually we are actually living in which world, how to protect the data, what are the different compliances, what to do, what not to do. Then you'll be able to read out each and everything. Okay, so these are the different advisory testing framework. How many of you tested your ML algorithm in the presence of advisory? Whenever we are training our algorithm, whenever we are testing our algorithm, we are actually testing about the accuracy, about the precision, but whether we have tested How many of you have tested your email algorithm in the presence of advisory? Then what will be the security? What will be the accuracy of your algorithm? Think of that. Okay. And I have one solution that we know what is the definition of machine learning. I'm not going to give you the definition of machine learning. It will be time consuming. Whatever the machine learning we know, that is centralized machine learning. That means you need to gather all the data in a central server and then you'll be able to process your data. But I think last 45 minutes I've told you about the data security, about the data privacy, about the auditing kind of things, right? So who gonna give you this data? Who gonna give you data? If you want to perform any healthcare analytics, do you think that hospitals will provide you the patient data? What about the patient privacy? What about the HIPAA rules? So this traditional machine learning algorithm is actually old. I'm telling once again, whatever the machine learning algorithm we are using, that is very old because this machine learning algorithm needs data. I do not have any data. That's why the tagline should be Sabka data, Sabki Shuraksa. We are moving to the federated learning. Some of you have, I think, thought of that. My actually my presentation tagline was federated learning. So this is federated learning on your screen. That means we are not gathering the data from our clients, from different healthcare organization. Rather, we are maintaining one central server. Look at here. The central server is a neural network and we are maintaining the central server and we are actually sending this particular machine learning model to each and every healthcare organization so that the healthcare organization can run this ML model to their local data set. So X, Y, Z healthcare organization not going to share data to the server, not going to share their data with each other. Rather, they are actually keeping their data in their cloud or in their local server, maintaining the data privacy. And central server is actually sending the model. The model going to be run on the local client, and after training using that local data, the model parameter going to share with the central server. Central server will update the model parameters gathered from each and every clients using different algorithm, Fed average, different Fed procs, different algorithms. Again, it will be sent back to the client. In this way, we can training the global model without the presence of data. Look at how we are maintaining the data privacy, right? So this is called federated learning. Not only that, whenever we are running this federated learning kind of algorithm, one big challenge is there that this particular machine learning is actually operating on edge devices. What about the power availability in the edge devices? So before deploying any algorithm, we have to check the resource availability in the edge device. According to that, my email model going to be developed and that model will run on that particular system, right? So federated learning that actually maintain the GDPR guideline. There are different kind of attacks there in federated learning. One kind of attack can be think of data poisoning attack. I have told you in very fast slide that poisoning means anyone can change your data, and if that data is used for training, then model will learn actually wrong thing. So privacy attack and poisoning attack. There are these two kind of attacks are there. I have a solution for that. The solution is actually known as this one. This one is a solution. Differential privacy. So whenever I'm sending my model parameter to the server, you could have asked me that what will be the situation if man in the middle is there? If man in the middle wants to hack this model parameter, then what will happen? That's why we are adding some noise with the model parameter. So the local client will add some noise to the model parameter, and that model parameter going to send to the server. Now, anyone who gonna hack this model parameter will not be able to figure out what was my actual data set. Again, when this model parameter gathered in the server, then we are actually maintaining one kind of privacy. We are adding global noise there. So after aggregation, not on the server will not be able to understand what was the data, because what happened? Think of the situation. If server get compromised, so I do not have belief on the server, right? It's for differential privacy. And also we have secure multi-party computation, where we are actually dividing our information into different shares. We are trying to transmit all those shares instead of transmit the whole message. Now, this federated learning, I have told you that ML is old. Presently, we are using FL. Now, I'm saying FL is old. We are using H learning right now. Why FL is old? Because in FL, though we are saying that FL is not centralized, it's a decentralized kind of algorithm, because we are not sharing data. Data is actually reside in the client, at the client side, right? But what about the server? Still here we need to maintain a server, because server is responsible for maintaining the global model, maintaining the model that is actually being run in the local site. So now we are thinking of edge learning. That means it's peer-to-peer network. There is no concept of server client. In this methods, in this particular edge driven learning, we can enhance the privacy, because there is a no, if server gets compromised, if server gets failed, think of your start topology. And this peer-to-peer means it's a kind of ring topology or in kind of mesh topology, right? So here also, think you need to think of, if you want to audit in edge learning, how to audit. Suppose you are going to audit a system which is actually designed using edge learning, what to audit? You need to audit the latency, you need to audit the model accuracy, you need to audit different compliance, right? And also this the model we are using, this edge learning should be the lightweight model, because I have already mentioned that we should have to aware of the resource available in that particular edge devices. Because we are using handheld devices, there is a power issue. So lightweight CNN or RNN can be a solution as a model. Next, what is next? Next is gossip learning. So let's gossip. Gossip learning means, suppose you have designed your system in edge using your edge learning. Now your system has experienced one attack. Now, if your system experience one new attack, the attack may be zero-day attack, right? How your system reacted for that attack, how you have updated your model parameters, so next time you'll be able to detect that attack. So your organization has actually done all these steps. Now you, as a responsible node, sharing all of your experience in terms of model parameter with all the other nodes, all the peer nodes present in your network, so that your peer node can understand, can get the experience from you that okay, this kind of attack was there and this kind of updation is needed. Using that, your peer node can update their system so that they will ready for the next generation attack. This is called gossip learning. Okay. Look at here, there's a peer-to-peer network. You can update each and every one. You can send message periodically, means synchronous message transmission, or you can use asynchronous transmission, right? So this is the proposed algorithm. These are the different steps. I'm not going to details of these things. So whenever we are using gossip learning algorithm, it is actually supports GDPR DPDP compliance, because here data is not going to shared, only the model parameter going to shared. Here we are actually updating each and every node with the experience, right? And when we are thinking of gossip learning is the ultimate, I have another solution for you. What is the solution? That is, this is the application of gossip learning in AV. Okay, in autonomous vehicle. In autonomous vehicle also we can use gossip learning. Look at the picture here. This model is actually sharing their experience with other models, with other self-driving cars, rather than sharing the information with RSU. Okay, so there are different challenges in gossip learning. That's why we are going to the next step. What is the next step? Next step is meta learning. So we need to learn the situation. Learning to learn in AI, we need to learn the situation. After learning the situation, we need to design our AI algorithm, our ML algorithm in such a way that as per the situation, as per the vulnerability, as per the malware, as per the attacks, it can be able to design itself. So self-generating model, self-developing model. That's why we're using learning to learn. Okay, and we are calling it as a meta learning. Different applications are there in meta learning. For basically, whenever you are auditing in this meta learning, we need to use different parameters. Learning rate should be 0.001. Here we can use k-means algorithm, right? Or KNN also. Here k value should be 3. Whatever the value I'm showing here, we got all the values after trial and error methods. Next, when you are using gossip learning, how can I believe my peer? Suppose one of the node has experienced some attack, and that node wants to share the experience with other peers in terms of model parameter. I have already told you the story. But why the other nodes or other clients will trust on that particular node? So there should be some weighted trust mechanism. That means using the weighted trust mechanism, if after receiving one update, if I update my model, if I experience that no, there is no vulnerability for updating my model, if I have a trust, then I can increase the weight of that particular node. In this way, I can build a trust model, right? So there are different models are available. I'm showing you there are zero trust model available. So basically, we start with the zero trust. I have no trust with you, but whenever I am actually working with you, then after experiencing something, I can increase the trust, increase the weight value in this way. There are different algorithm approaches are there, ping approaches is there for doing all these things. Not only that, whenever we are using this adaptive mechanism, first of all, I can show you that there is a method known as zero knowledge gossip protocol. Zero knowledge gossip protocol means that there is no data available to you. Think of the situation. You are working with ML model, you are working with DL model due to data privacy, you do not have any data. If you do not have any data, how you will be able to make your training data set? So these are the different solutions are there. Few short learning is there. Look at here. We do not have huge data set to learn my DNN model. We have only these 3 images. Only these 3 images of penguin. Using the 3 images, I can start my ML or DL model, so that my ML or DL model can learn from these 3 images instead of thousand images. This is called few shot learning. Also, I can show you one is called zero shot learning. Zero shot learning means I have no data. Look at here. In a few shot learning, there were 3 maybe dogs picture. In case of few shot, maybe 3 or 4 dog pictures. In one shot, there's a one dot picture, there is zero shot, there is no pictures. So you need to learn from zero data. Again, the last information I want to share with you. Last 1 minute is left. So the information is called how you can prevent your data to be leaked. I have told you one story that what about the situation if your model will read your data? Suppose I am using one model, random forest model. That model will actually working on my data set. And this model has one hidden function. That hidden function is actually responsible for leaking my data. Who wanna check whether this hidden function is written in my RF model or not, in random forest model or not, because we are using different packages. We are not checking the packages thoroughly. That's why what we are using this kind of system. We are trying to encrypt our data set. We are supplying our encrypted data set to the model. The model will work on the encrypted data set. I'm saying once again, the model will run on the encrypted data set and it will generate the result. And the result will be also encrypted one so that model will not get the plain data. Model will not get the plain result. Only you as a owner of the data, you have the key to decrypt your message, to decrypt your result. That is the future. This is the screenshot, right? And as I told you that I have a different examples for you. This one is picture abhi baki hai. That means if I send you one picture through WhatsApp message, if you download, or if I send you one zip file, or if I send you one PDF file in WhatsApp message, if you download, if you click on that particular uh, image, PDF or zip file, if you unzip one, look at here, screenshot it given. This is some of my graphs image, some of my PDFs. The attackers can attack you in that way. Look at the date. Whatever the attack I have launched here, my antivirus will not going to detect that. My defender not going to detect that. Okay, I can get remote access of your system. I can snatch your live screen. That means I can check your live screen. I can take your screenshot also. Okay. Not only that, I can download any of your file that is present on your system. I can take screenshot. Even if I can turn on your webcam and your flashlight will be off. Your flashlight will be off so that you will not be able to understand whether your webcam is on or off. These are the screenshot of my students. And I can delete any file from your system. I can upload any file in your system. I can read any arbitrary file from your system. I can execute any kind of command in your system. I can traverse any directory. Okay. I can escalate different permissions, even if I can gather all the password saves in your browsers. These are the different programs written over here through which, not only that, if you're thinking that in one time I can handle one client, no, sorry, I can handle multiple clients. If you forward the message to your friend, if your friend open that particular file, your friend also will be hacked. In a queue, I can hack everyone. So I can handle multiple client, and also I can switch from one client to another client. This is the scenario. I can switching from client 1 to client 3, client 3 to client 2 in this way, right? You can download anything. And also, whenever you are trying to transact in online mode, I can read your CVV also. Look at here, CVV is not visible, right? It's appearing in a triple dot. I can able to read your CVV. Think the consequences, right? So we need to think of different kind of security, blockchain level gossip learning security, self-supervised learning security like meta learning, zero trust learning, and the real-time adaptation of AI learning tools. Thank you very much. Stay alert, stay safe, and if you experienced any cybercrime or problem, please log in to the site cybercrime.gov.in or dial 1930. Thank you. Thank you very much for your presence.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insights and expertise on AI-driven defense, harnessing generative AI and federated learning for next-generation cybersecurity. Your presentation has provided us with valuable perspectives and ideas. As we conclude today's session, I would like to thank all of our speakers, guests, and participants for their active involvement and engagement. Your contributions have made this faculty development program a meaningful experience. Thank you once again, and we will look forward to seeing everyone in the next session. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.